Hello and welcome to another pattern tutorial. So today we will be making the Siesta Throw. It is very easy Tunisian crochet one row pattern. For my sample I use Lovecrafts Special DK and I held the 2 strands of yarn when I was crocheting, and I used 7mm Tunisian crochet hook with the cable which was at least 50 inches or 127 centimeters long. So for this row we will be learning how to do Tunisian foundation row. We'll also look at Tunisian purl stitch, Tunisian knit stitch, and then Tunisian simple stitch bind off. So without further ado, let's dive in. We will start the project with a slip knot, and then we will need to chain multiple of 3. So the stitch pattern consists of 3 stitches. We will then need to add 2 for edge stitches, the left and right edge stitch, and an extra Tunisian purl stitch to balance out the crochet pattern. So we will start with chains. So we yarn over and pull through. That's chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, 9. Okay, so I've got a very small sample. I've got 9. For the pattern, if you'd like to follow the pattern exactly, you will chain 147. For the first row, we will turn the chain around and we will be working into the back bumps of your chain stitches. So these are 2 strands. So we'll insert a hook and the both strands from front to back, yarn over and pull up a loop. And we will repeat this for every chain of the foundation chain. So this is the forward pass of row number 1 or of foundation row. Once we get to the last chain, we insert the hook. We then continue with the return pass. So we will yarn over, pull through 1, this also known as chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and we will repeat yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the return pass. Working return pass this way is also known as standard return pass. After we work our foundation row, we can start with row number 2. And row number 2 is essentially the stitch pattern that we will be repeating for the rest of the project, except where we change colors, but the stitch pattern still remains. There will be just slight change on the return pass on the rows where we are changing colors. So we start with Tunisian purl stitch. In the first stitch, we'll bring the yarn forward to have it in front of the hook. We can either hold on to it with our index finger, or you can just leave it there, and then we will insert the hook under the front vertical bar from right to left, yarn over and pull up a loop. We'll then work 2 Tunisian knit stitches or Tunisian knit stitches in the next 2 stitches. So Tunisian knit stitches are worked between the front and back vertical bar. So we will insert the hook from front to back between the bars, yarn over and pull up a loop. We will repeat this once more. We'll insert the hook between the front and back vertical bars, yarn over, pull up a loop. We'll then continue with Tunisian purl stitch. And this is the basic stitch pattern repeat. So 2 Tunisian knit stitches or Tunisian knit stitch in 2 consecutive stitches, followed by Tunisian purl stitch. So I can work one more repeat in my small sample. 2 Tunisian knit stitches, 1 and 2, followed by Tunisian purl stitch. Once you get to the end of the row, The very last stitch is called end stitch or left edge stitch. You will insert your hook under the left and right bars, so altogether this will go under 4 strands of yarn because we are holding the yarn double. Yarn over and pull up a loop, and this will create the left edge stitch. And then we will continue with standard return pass, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Rows number 3 to 53 will be the repetition of row number 2, so you will work Tunisian purl stitch, then 2 Tunisian knit stitches, followed by Tunisian purl stitch, and so on, ending with edge stitch. Then the row 54 will be the same on the forward pass, however on the return pass you will change your color to color B or to your complementary color. So what you will do is, once you will have last 2 loops on the hook of the return pass of row number 54, you will then yarn over with your new color. You will yarn over with your new color and pull through, and this will make the first stitch of the row number 55 in the new color, and then you will continue in the new color. So you've got several options with this row. You can make it all in one color, you can use 2 colors, or as per my sample 3, or if you feel like it you can even make more colors. You just need to divide the rows into equal blocks. So if you follow the pattern, you will then continue rows 55 to 107, again repeating the stitch pattern as per row 2, and then on row number 108 you will work forward pass in your color B, and you will work the last yarn over pull through 2 of the return pass with color C. You will then work rows 109 to 161 as repetition of row 2 in your color C, and then you will get to row number 162 that is worked as Tunisian simple stitch bind off. So for this project I decided to go with the basic bind off, but if you prefer you can also do stitch pattern bind off, so I'm going to explain both. So the simple way to bind off your project is to go on the front vertical bar from right to left, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the stitch on the hook, so you will always end up with 1 loop on your hook. So let's do that again. You insert the hook under the front vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through. This will make the last row look as if you worked Tunisian simple stitch. Well, on a large project it's not a big such a big issue. However, if you are really into details and you would like to maintain the stitch pattern throughout, you can decide to go for the stitch pattern bind off. So in stitch pattern bind off you essentially follow the stitch pattern in the previous row, but you are binding at the same time. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So in the row below, this would be Tunisian purl stitch, so I'm going to work Tunisian purl stitch and pull it through the loop on the hook. This is followed by 2 Tunisian knit stitches, so I'm going to work Tunisian knit stitch and bind off, 1 more Tunisian knit stitch and bind off. Then I've got Tunisian purl stitch, so I'm going to work Tunisian purl stitch and bind off, and working the edge stitch or the end stitch as previously and bind it off. And this would be the point where you can cut off your yarn, pull it through, and this will complete your project. So if you look at the bind off in detail, you can see that on the first 2 stitches where I did the Tunisian simple stitch bind off, it really does look like Tunisian simple stitch, and it disrupts the overall stitch pattern just a little bit. However, when it comes to large row with lots of row and thousands of stitches, this might not be such an issue. So if you are up for some change and you decide to go with the stitch pattern bind off, you can see that the bind off is maintained. However, if you look, the Tunisian knit stitches are pulled lower, and this is because these stitches tend to curl and they tend to pull inwards. So if you would like to create a nice neat straight edge on the top, I would recommend to block your project very carefully. This might not be such an issue where we've got Tunisian simple stitch bind off, because you can see that this edge is nice and straight. So it's really down to your personal preferences. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you find this tutorial useful. As always, let me know what you think about the pattern. What would you use it for? Would you make a large throw or maybe a dish cloth? What colors would you use, and what is your preferred yarn for blankets? And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.